What's up everybody, it's the Bamboo Bandit bringing you another update video on this game project. If you can hear, there's all kinds of sounds now, like rustling and wind. And how that's working is, when this wind passes by, you can see it right there, it starts getting louder with this whooshing sound. And if it passes by these collision boxes for grass and bushes, it starts playing rustling. So let me make wind right now. And there we go. You can start to hear that rustling. And everything else has sounds. I just got free sounds from the internet, temporary stuff just to work with my code because I don't really have the knowledge to make good sounds right now, so I just needed something temporary. So there's fireballs, the whooshing, everything really. I just threw in temporary stuff. When you dash, there's just tons of footsteps. There's actual panning too. And all this was pretty easy to implement. Sounds turns out not that bad. So let's demonstrate some combat sounds. You start hearing a thud if I actually make contact with the sword. The sword will stick into the guy and then make a thud. And the shield as well will make kind of blocking sound. I wrote a color correcting shader, so if I were to stand in this light right here, the character starts to glow. You can see the difference right there. So what it's doing is it's taking a color or like a source of light, and it's the color on the ground here. It's kind of an orangish whitish, and it will apply or influence the darker colors of my character because he's standing on top of it. So if I were to actually throw, let's say, poison here, you'll see the trees turn green in the shadows, or orange, or any kind of lighting. So it's basically dynamic ambient lighting. And this can be applied to the whole map. So let's say that you're in a forest and light passes through green leaves. So it turns out that the shadows everywhere will be green. I took a walk at a park one day, not too long ago, and I took this picture, and it demonstrates a clear whoa, like these shadows are green. And artists usually say, oh, don't use black shadows, make them blue. And I'm like, why blue? Sometimes they're green, sometimes they're purple. It really depends on the atmosphere. Why should they always be blue? I agree they should rarely be black because there's usually some kind of color to the lighting that would not make that possible. Luckily, I painted all my assets with black shadows because my color correcting shader will fix that for me live. Anyways, there is another map which shows this pretty well because I added 3 debug lights. We have red, green, and blue, and just by standing on top of whichever light, you can see the shadows of my character turn the appropriate color. And if I were to go south of the light, that is no longer happening because the light is behind me, coincidentally. That actually is I'll say a bug that was a feature. So you'll see that this light I'm sampling is right there and there's no light there. So my character is not green. But once I'm like this, I'm sampling that color right here and I'm green. But it logically ends up making sense. So I'm okay with that. Anyways, the rest of this map has a bluish color correcting shader just to see how it would look like. It doesn't make sense because it's a bright day scene, so the shadows here shouldn't be blue, maybe an orangish, but we can see here the poison potion will give off a green light which heavily influences the darker colors. And you can see a little bit of that with fireballs as well. Anything. The only other change I made since the last video was I worked on another chaining ability. So let's say you only have lightning and you only have life absorb, and there's a bunch of lightning immune creatures around you. That sounds like a big problem unless you attach your life absorb ability to your lightning. because lightning chains, so whatever you hit with this chain will cast a life absorb automatically, making it very efficient to get rid of these lightning immune creatures. I'll show you what this looks like here. Like so. Now I'm just easily stealing everybody's life, just like that. It ends up feeling pretty satisfying. If you're liking the progress, liking where this project is headed, please subscribe to the channel, look forward to future videos, and there's all kinds of ways to keep up to date with this project. I have a server on Discord for it, and I tweet updates constantly, and I stream art on Twitch all the time, and you can find all that information in the description of this video. I also want to start doing a mailing list later on, and if you want to be part of that to get all kinds of future updates, then follow the instructions in the description of the video, email my email, and I'll store that for the mailing list. Anyways, thanks for watching and stay tuned for future stuff. See ya!